Alright, Animation Chronicles 2024 again, this time with an old archetype that hasn't been supported for a while with one of the cover cards, which is a Performage. So let's begin. So we start off with Performage Fire Dancer, which is a level 4 fire spellcaster Pendulum with 1400 attack, 1200 defense, Pendulum scale of 6, and the Pendulum effect is once per turn you can target one Performage monster you control. For this turn, that monster does piercing damage, which can be very helpful, but the monster effect is that if this card is no more special summon, you can add one Performage from your deck to your hand, which is a hard once per turn, and of course other than itself, but regardless, this is of course going to be very helpful. And the second effect is that if this card is on the field, is destroyed by battle card effect, you can target one face-up monster on the field, it loses 500 attack, which there will be some trickery for that, but overall it's just a pretty cool new support because it searches, and the Pendulum scale with the Pendulum effect is not too bad. In which we go to Performage Water Dancer, which is a level 4 water spellcaster Pendulum with 1200 attack, 1400 defense, scale of 2, Pendulum effect are both hard once per turn. If you control Performage monster, you can special summon this card. Being a level 4 that can special summon itself is very helpful. Or when a monster declares an attack, you can target one attack position monster, change it to defense, which is supposed to combo with the other one, but you mainly do it for the special summon because level 4 exceed material, exceed base deck. But the monster effects are, if this card's Pendulum summon, you can add one polymerization from your deck or graveyard to your hand, which there is a fusion card for this deck, and Dennis being a spy, it makes sense why he has the fusion card. In which the second effect is that if this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one attack position monster and change it to defense. Sometimes helpful, especially when you got piercing. But once again, you do this for the special summon for extended play, and maybe add the fusion card. And now we go to Performage Wind Drainer, which is a level 5 wind spellcaster Pendulum with 2100 attack, 0 defense, Pendulum scale 4, which can suck a bit because this does have a rank 4 base deck along with rank 5. But anyway, Pendulum effect, once per turn you can target one Performage Pendulum monster you control and activate one of these effects. Reduce its level by 1 or increase this card's Pendulum scale by that monster. More so with the second part of the Pendulum effect because you want to perform Pendulum summon sometimes, and being able to access level 4 is very important. But anyway, monster effect. First effect is hard once per turn, where if your opponent controls a monster or you control a Performage monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you do, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except for Performage while this card is on the field. Very helpful, especially when there's rank 5s. But anyway, second effect, if this card is special summon, you can reduce its level by 1. Very helpful since of course your main boss monster is a rank 4, which can also rank up to a rank 5. But anyway, third effect, once per turn, you can change the levels of all Performages that are level 4 you control to 5, which of course will enable your rank 5 plays. Overall pretty good because it can special summon itself, can be useful for pendulums, and also for your rank 5 plays. And then we go to Performage Cup Tricker, which is a level 5 light spellcaster Pendulum monster with 1200 attack, 1400 defense, Pendulum scale 1, Pendulum effect are both hard once per turn. You can target one Performage exceed monster you control, attach this card to it as material, very helpful, especially that it can trigger another effect. Second effect, if a card was added to your extra deck, aka if your Pendulum monsters are destroyed, you can add one face-up Performage Pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. Very helpful, especially to do more plays. But the first part of its effect where you can attach itself as material to an exceed monster is going to be very helpful, especially to trigger some effects. But anyway, monster effect. Both effects are hard once per turn. If this card is in your hand, you can target one exceed monster on the field, detach one material from it. If you do special summon this card, then that one exceed monster loses 600 attack. Very helpful to make some plays, of course. But the second effect is that if this card is detached from an exceed monster and sent to the graveyard for its material to activate its effect, you can target two exceed monsters you control, detach one material from one of them, and attach it to the other. Basically performing some tricks to basically allow you to activate other exceed monster effects. Overall pretty cool because it can make your plays and also recycle. And now to the new fusion monster, Performage Trapeze Witch, which is the level 7 dark spellcaster fusion with 2400 attack, 1800 defense, requires 2 Performage monsters, and its effects are, your opponent cannot target Performage monsters you control with card effects, and also they cannot be destroyed by card effects. Yeah, that can be very nasty, especially giving protection to pretty much all your monsters. And then for the second effect, your opponent cannot target this card for an attack while you control a Performage monster other than this card. Man, a lot of protection for this card already, especially if you have 2 copies of it, your opponent cannot attack at all for any Performage monsters. But the third effect is that when an attack is declared involving your Performage monster and an opponent's monster, you can make your opponent's monster lose 600 attack. Considering that most of your Performage boss monsters have less than 3000 attack, this is going to be very helpful. Overall, a pretty cool new fusion monster that can basically just protect your stuff, and the fact that polymerization is searchable for the deck makes this worth kind of running. And then we go to Performage Shadow Maker, Monster. Finally, rank 5 Dark Spellcaster Exceed with 2600 attack, 1000 defense, requires 3 level 5 monsters, and the first and third effect are hard once per turn. So the first one is that you can detach 1 material from this card to send 1 Performage monster from your deck to the graveyard and add 1 rank up spell from your deck to your hand. Very helpful, especially that the anime version, which is the original, never had this effect. And no, there are no rank 6 in this deck, but you might have some utility here because there are some probably rank 6 Dark Spellcasters or even rank 7s, but you're not really doing that for this deck. But anyway, second effect, when a card or effect is activated to target this card, quick effect, you can detach 1 material from this card to special summon a copy from it from your extra deck. And this is what I mean from basically targeting effects. Target one of these, special summon another copy. And of course, since there's material transferring and this is not hard once per turn, you could basically do this again. And summoning 3 rank 5s with 2600 attack each is pretty nasty. But anyway, if the last material is detached from this card, you can special summon 1 Performage monster from your graveyard. If you summon this the normal way and then perform the second effect twice, you're still going to have 1 material left, but it is possible to play it the third time, especially since you can send stuff back to the extra deck. But overall, a cool new addition, especially since it can search your rank up, which is going to be your evolution of Trapeze Magician. In which we go to the rank of Trapeze Magician, Performage Trapeze High Magician, which is a rank 5 light spellcaster with 2700 attack, 2200 defense, requires 2 spellcaster monsters, but you're not going to really do that, but you can still do it. But anyway, it cannot be destroyed by anything while it has material. Very nice. Your opponent takes any effect damage that you would have been taken instead, which can be very nasty, especially with Performage Trickery, but you can only apply this effect number of times equal to the number of materials attached to this card. And finally, third effect, if you have Trapeze Magician as material, it gets this effect. You can detach 1 material from this card. This card can make up to 3 attacks during each battle phase this turn. 3 attacks with 2700 attack, pretty nice, especially when you can shrink down your opponent's power. Overall, a pretty cool new boss monster, or a old boss monster that has finally been printed. Still basically has its protection, and the multi-attack is also nice, and of course deflecting the effect damage is also pretty nice. And finally, to the quick play rank up magic, magical force. You can only activate 1 of these per turn, and you target 1 rank 4 spellcaster exceed monster in your graveyard, special summon it with its effects negated, and if you do, special summon 1 rank 5 exceed monster from your extra deck by using that monster as material, and of course attach it as material. What I really like is that this is basically a huge improvement of the actual anime, because it says any rank 4 spellcaster and you just rank it up to 5. Doesn't have to be same attribute as well, so that's another thing, and that just makes me really love this card, since it basically gives you versatility. Now of course archetypes are locked to their own archetypes these days, but still the fact that you could rank up to basically any rank 5 spellcasters is just very nice. And kind of doable in Performage Pendulum Magicians, because you do have rank 4 spellcaster exceeds that you could just rank up to rank 5 as well. But on that, there's really not much to say about this card. So that's it for the new Performage support. What do you guys think of it? After for so long, I'm glad that this finally got support, and basically these cards being printed, because Dennis himself got good number of duels, but for some reason his later support has not been printed until basically now. And he had a lot of cool stuff being a parallel to Yuya basically. So I'm just glad that these are finally being printed, especially with some improvements and a lot of protection. But on that, that's it for this, and see you all next time.